Welcome to SATV News. This is Nuri Alamin with the headlines. Transition to democracy requires inner reform, Mr. Fakhrul. Priority to prioritize media reforms if voted to power. Legal processes have driven all reforms, said law advisor Asif Nazrul. The International Crimes Tribunal warns sets December 4 for indictment hearing in Rampura mass killing case. Now in details. BNP Secretary General Mr. Fakhrul Islam Alamgir today said meaningful political transformation is not possible without embracing reform from within. Mr. Fakhrul made the remark at an exchange of views with political parties on reviewing the recommendations of the Media Reform Commission organized by the Broadcast Journalist Center at Bangladesh-China Friendship Conference Center. He also said that country is passing through a transition period from a fascist system to a democratic system. Besides, he said the discussion focused on media freedom and journalist protection, nothing that journalism, the education system, and an independent media environment are all tied to the fundamental structure of the state. At the same time, he also said political parties don't wish to control the media, but problems arise when individuals enter the pocket of others. Over the last 15 years, many media persons willingly contributed to establishing fascism, the BNP further asserted. The International Crimes Tribunal warned today set December 4 for holding a hearing on charge farming in a crimes against humanity case lodged over the killing of 28 in the capital's Rampura area during the July mass uprising. The two-member tribunal led by Justice Shariful Alam Mahmood passed the order in the presence of two accused BGPs, the Lieutenant Colonel Muhammad Ridwanul Islam and Rafat bin Alam. The court also appointed a state defense to defend two fugitive accused, former additional deputy commissioner of Dhaka Metropolitan Police Khilgaon Zone, Mr. Rashidul Islam, and former officer in charge of Rampura Police Station, Muhammad Mushir Rahman. The two accused officers, who wear plain clothes, were brought to the tribunal in a specialized prison van around 10 a.m. amid heightened security in and around the court premises. Law, Justice and Parliamentary Affairs Advisor Dr. Asif Nazrul today said that all reforms and changes in the country have been achieved through the legal processes. The law advisor made the remark at the inauguration of a family court system held at Jagannath Social Real Auditorium in Dhaka Metropolitan Sessions Judge Court building. He also said in cases of family dispute, people no longer need to physically go in court as free services are now available through the legal aid. Under the new system, 3 judges are involved instead of 1, making the process more efficient. He also said the law advisor further said the excessive attempt at reform must not weaken the state's structural foundation, emphasizing that any process must be implemented gradually to be effective. Speaking about the Ministry of Law ongoing reform, the advisor said the ministry has implemented 21 reforms so far. Meanwhile, Finance Advisor Dr. Salahuddin Ahmed today said the market has shown partial stabilization following recent decisions to permit the rice import. The government's recent initiative to import non-basmati rice aims to stabilize prices, he said. The finance advisor also responding to the queries of reporter after chairing meeting of Advisors Council Committee on Government and Purchase held at the Cabinet Division Conference Room at Bangladesh Secretariat today. He also, however, said the government remains cautious as early signs of price escalation to some extent have reappeared. To prevent instability, the government has approved a new proposal to import an additional volume of non-basmati rice. The advisor noted that while in the local administration, including deputy commissioners and Upazila level officers are tasked with monitoring market activities, the effectiveness of such monitoring is limited when influential traders act collectively or manipulate the market. Fisheries and Livestock Advisor Farida Akhtar today said that Bangladesh will observe National Livestock Week 2025 for the first time from Wednesday under the name Local Breeds, the Modern Technology, Advancing Livestock Development. Speaking at a press conference in the ministry, she said the week-long program will run from the November 26th to December 2nd at Central District and Upazila level as well. The observance will feature the National Livestock Award awareness campaign, rallies, discussions, seminars, workshop and exhibition, she also added. As per noted, the National Livestock Award policy, 15 awards will be presented in 5 categories in the recognition of exceptional contribution to the sector. The advisor said Planning Advisor Dr. Washim and the Adam handed over awards that attending the opening ceremony as a chief guest. Bhutanese Prime Minister Tshering Thabogey left for home this morning after concluding his 2-day state visit to Bangladesh. Foreign Affairs Advisor Mohammad Tauhid Hussain saw him off at Hazrat Shah Jalal International Airport. Commerce Advisor S.K. Bashiruddin and Foreign Secretary Asad Alam Siam were also present at the airport on this occasion, said the Chief Advisor Deputy Press Secretary Abul Kalam Azad Mujumdar. Before his departure, the Bhutanese Prime Minister was accredited the State Guard of Honor in line with the state protocol. During the stay in Bangladesh, the two countries signed the Memorandum of Understanding, one on health care services, another on internet connectivity. The Bhutanese Prime Minister also attended a series of events, including bilateral talks with Bangladesh Chief Advisor Professor Muhammad Yunus. His schedule was included meetings with advisor, key government officials and political leaders as well. Viewers, we're taking a short break. Stay with us.
বাংলাদেশ থেকে সিঙ্গাপুরে পণ্য বুকিং এর জন্য যোগাযোগ করুন ঢাকা সহ দেশের যে কোনো ৮০টি শাখা কেন্দ্রে। এসএ পরিবহন পার্সেল এন্ড কুরিয়ার সার্ভিস, আপনার সেবা সব সময়।
Welcome, Grand Palace Hotel, Dhaka. A majestic lobby blending timeless elegance with modern design. Experience 5-star comfort in suites and rooms. Sophisticated fine dining restaurant. Crystal clear swimming pool for ultimate relaxation. Modern gym and serene spa for well-being. Perfect venue for corporate events, weddings and parties. Seamless and secured. Elegant and eye-catching design. Indulge, relax, discover the first 5-star chain hotels in Bangladesh. Grand Palace Hotel Dhaka, 22 Kakrail, Dhaka, Bangladesh.
Welcome to Grand Club at Mirpur 10 Dhaka. Elegant spa and wellness facility for ladies and gents. Play pool and snooker in international standard billiard zone. World-class gym facility with exclusive equipment for man and woman. A restaurant of delicious local and international cuisine.
Welcome back. You are watching SATV News. Now news from abroad. 3 suicide bombers targeted the headquarters of a Pakistani parliamentary force on Monday, killing 3 personnel and wounding at least 5, authorities said. According to the police, the attacker opened fire as they forced their way into the 14 Constabulary headquarters in Peshawar before blowing themselves up inside the complex. Headquarters of the force is located in a densely populated area of Peshawar, the capital of the Khyber Pakhtunkhwa province. Mohammed Ashim, a spokesperson of Lady Reading Hospital, said the 5 wounded people, including 2 paramilitary personnel, were taken 3 for the treatment. Israel killed militant group Hezbollah's top military official in an airstrike on a southern suburb of Beirut on Sunday, the Israeli military said, despite the U.S. brokered truce a year ago. The strike, the first time on the outskirts of the Lebanese capital in month, targeted Iran-backed Hezbollah acting chief of staff Haitham Ali Tabtadi, the military said in a statement. There was no immediate confirmation for the killing from Hezbollah, although senior Hezbollah officer Mohammed Kamti confirmed a central figure from the group had been targeted. Speaking near the bombed-out the building, the Harat-Haik suburb, the strike caused the red line. The committee said Hezbollah leadership would decide on whether and how the group would respond. Meanwhile, in a short of televised statement, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu said that Israel would not allow Hezbollah to rebuild its forces and that expected the Lebanese government to fulfill its obligation to disarm Hezbollah. Russian forces stacked a massive drone attack on Sunday on Kharkiv, Ukraine's second largest city, killing the 4 people and injuring several other officials said. There is a massive attack on Kharkiv, and Kharkiv Mayor Ory Terikov wrote to the Telegram messaging app. The Terikov said the 3 people had been killed whilst visiting an impacted site. However, officials later updated the death toll to the 4. Regional Governor Ole said the 12 people were injured, including 2 children aged 11 and 12. 15 strikes were recorded in a 6 area of the city in northeastern Ukraine. Meanwhile, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky said on Monday that Kiev would continue to work with its partner on compromises on U.S. speech proposals to strengthen, not to weaken Ukraine. Speaking via video link at a Kremlin platform summit being held in Sweden, Zelensky said Russia must pay for the war in Ukraine and the decision on using frozen Russian assets and crucial. The United States and Ukraine were set to continue work on Monday on a plan to end the war with Russia after agreeing to modify an earlier proposal that was widely seen as too favorable to Moscow. However, the Kremlin said it had not received any official information about the outcome of Ukraine pitch. Talks held on Sunday in Geneva. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said the Kremlin would not be discussing details of any draft amendment via the media. Turkish President Recep Tayyip Erdogan said on Sunday that he would have a call with the Russian counterpart to discuss peace effort in Ukraine, adding that he could also ask him the restart to deal for the safe passage for the grains via the Black Sea. Speaking at a press conference on Sunday after the G20 summit in South Africa, Erdogan said Turkey would do its utmost to open the path to the peace in Ukraine, adding he will share the Ukrainian and US leader and ally the outcome of conversation and Putin. The Erdogan also said Ankara was still evaluating how to potentially deploy its security force to an international stabilization force being planned in Gaza, adding that a decision would be made of the discussion. NATO member Turkey played a key role in negotiations of ceasefire in Gaza, becoming one of the sting nations for the accord signed to Egypt.
Yarın da yine telefonla Sayın Putin'le bir görüşmemiz olacak.
Japanese Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi told to reporters on Sunday that she didn't meet with Chinese Premier Li Keqiang during the G20, but emphasized that her country was open to various forms of dialogue with China. Japan's policy of comprehensively advancing a strategic and mutually beneficial relationship with China and building a constructive and stable relationship has been consistent since I became Prime Minister, Takaichi told to reporter after G20 summit finalized on Sunday. When asked by reporter on Friday if her earlier comment, a Taiwan contingency could constitute an existential crisis for Japan, Takaichi said on such a level was for the government to decide based on all available information in the given circumstances. Meanwhile, China's Foreign Minister Wang Yi said that Japan had crossed a red line with its recent comment on Taiwan. Chinese state broadcaster SATV reported on Sunday. The official statement was also posted on Chinese Ministry of Foreign Affairs website. The Wang, the most senior Chinese official to have commented publicly to the issues, accused Japanese Prime Minister Sanai Takaichi of attempting to intervene militarily over the Taiwan. Wang was referring to comments on November 7, in which she told to a question in Parliament that a hypothetical Chinese attack on democratically governed Taiwan could trigger a military response from Tokyo. Hong Kong's leader John Lee said on Monday his government supported China's diplomatic policy towards Japan and financial hub would closely monitor its situation and respond appropriately. The comments are the first time a Hong Kong official has publicly weighed in the dispute that has roiled Japan-China ties for more than 2 weeks. This extremely enormous remark have severely deteriorated an atmosphere of exchange between China and Japan. Lee said on media briefing it makes the doubt as effectiveness of many exchanges. Hong Kong said halted exchange with Japan. Consulate Japanese news agency Kodo said on Sunday Lee didn't respond directly to a query on whether Hong Kong had suspended exchange, saying our arrangement must be aligned with nation's dignity and the benefit of Hong Kong's. The G20 summit in South Africa and the COP30 climate summit in Brazil show the multilateralism is very much alive, despite effort by U.S. President Donald Trump to dismantle it. Brazil President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva said on Sunday, Trump is trying to purge on the end of the multilateralism, trying to strengthen unilateralism. I think multilateralism will win, he told to reporter on sideline of the Group of 20 meeting in Johannesburg. Global leader in Johannesburg adopted a declaration on Saturday addressing the climate crisis and other global challenges without input from United States. Separately, Lula da Silva was very much concerned about the U.S. military buildup in the Caribbean and intended to speak with Trump about it. He further declined to comment on the Supreme Court decision to arrest former Brazil President Jair Bolsonaro. Continue, the court added, it will serve the sentence to the co-determined, and everyone knows what he did.
Deixa só dizer uma coisa para vocês. O presidente Trump tem dado demonstrações já.
Trade talks between the European Union and the United States are progressing, but more work lies ahead on aspects such as steel tariff. EU trade says Marco Secretary said on Monday. and the SATV was scheduled to meet the European Union Trade Minister later in the day and will also have talks with US Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick and the trade representative Jameson Greta in the Brussels. Discussion with US counterpart and will also include critical law material, the SATV told reporter.
We cannot be in the permanent fixing phase. We have to have the normal agreement on steel and aluminium and work on it.
Thousands of people have been evacuated and one death has been reported in the Songkhla province in southern Thailand amid widespread flooding, according to provincial officials on Monday. An evacuation order was issued on Monday for all high-risk areas in Hat Yai as flood water surged again in the afternoon and with military and rescue team deployed across the city. According to the local governor, Thailand Prime Minister has ordered a former command center in to tackle severe flooding across the several southern provinces as the Deputy Prime Minister directed agencies to deploy personnel, equipment and aid to affected area in compliance with National Broadcasting Services of Thailand. Before ending, we'll go through the SATV News headlines again. Transition of democracy require in our from Mr. Fakul party to prioritize media reform if voted to power. Legal processes have driven all reforms, said law advisor Asif Nazrul. The International Crime Tribunal warns sets December 4 for indictment hearing in Rampura mass killing case. You are up to date with the top stories so far here on SATV. And to know the latest news, visit www.satv.tv. Stay with SATV.